are these premiums going to impact only Louisiana, or are we looking at other states, other communities?
No, this is a national problem, Steve. It's not just a Louisiana problem or even just a Gulf Coast problem. This is going to affect a huge majority of the United States. Whether you live in the Gulf Coast or the East Coast region, it's also going to affect many areas around all the river systems inside the United States of America. We're talking about, cities such as Nashville, Tennessee. You're talking about St. Louis, Missouri, Memphis. You're talking about California and all the areas in between. And it's kind of a two-edged sword. What you're seeing is the effects of the implementation of Biggert Waters combined with FEMA having to go out across the country and remap all of the flood mappings in all of the counties and, of course, parishes in Louisiana, which both of those things coming together is creating what we call a perfect storm that is creating havoc on this market in terms of consumers being able to afford their premiums on flood insurance.
So what is the state doing then? Is it led by Congress, or, I mean, how can we fight this?
Well, the coalition has centered its efforts right now on trying to educate around the country the congressmen and senators in those other states. I will tell you, our Louisiana delegation, they understand the need to have this law delayed until we can figure out a better solution to the fix to create more affordable flood insurance rates for all citizens. So our delegation has worked tirelessly to try to implement amendments to bills to delay the act for a year, to delay it for 4 years, and until we can figure this out. So I think our goal now is to spread the coalition out so that we can get the word out to these other states, and particularly their congresspeople in those states, to let them know that just because your state doesn't have this problem today, it's going to be knocking at your door tomorrow or even next year, and we all need to come together to fix this problem for the consumers of the country that are required to purchase the flood insurance policies.
Now, what's FEMA's position regarding this?
FEMA is the meetings we've been at. Obviously FEMA is basically implementing the law as passed by Congress. So in some ways they are in a position where they're having to just take the law itself and implement it as it's stated. Certainly we've asked FEMA to take messages back to the administration and others that have the ability in Congress to make higher up decisions to consider delaying this a year until we can get an affordability study conducted by FEMA, which, by the way, was actually passed in the initial Biggert Waters Act. It said that FEMA had to conduct an affordability study, we believe, before the act was fully implemented. And just to give our viewers and listeners and others, there recently, to our knowledge, was a federal lawsuit filed, I believe, by the Commissioner of Insurance in Mississippi, that one of the points, I believe, questions whether FEMA has the ability to implement this law because of the fact that the affordability study has not been completed, or to my knowledge hadn't even been started in terms of that study.
So what is it that we're trying to do? Are we trying to get President Obama to delay? Or are we trying to get Congress? Who's the one with the magic button?
We believe the best route is Congress being able to go in and amend on to some other vehicle going through Congress that would delay implementation, best scenario of all aspects in the entire law of the Biggert Waters Act. Congressman Cassidy and Senator Landrieu have attached amendments to the Homeland Security Appropriations Bill on both sides of Congress that would delay the grandfathering provisions of Biggert Waters. But certainly that's a great help, and certainly we're hopeful that passes to delay that portion of it. But there's other provisions of the Biggert Waters Act that will have detrimental impact on consumers as well. So I think to answer your question is, we're really focusing our efforts on Congress to delay the act. But certainly these other areas, whether it be legal or other, are going to FEMA asking the administration delay, are obviously areas of avenues that we want to explore to get to the end result of having a delay in some fashion put in effect so that we can figure this out and make sure that whatever new system we put into place keeps the rates affordable while at the same time achieves the goal of making the program solvent over a long period of time.